to this YouTube tutorial on physics in the Unity game engine. Okay, so what we're doing in this one is putting physics on a wooden chair that we brought the model in a few videos ago. So if you just grab it out of your models folder where you've got it into your scene, you'll see that over in the inspector there's no physics things attached to it. Now, to see the physics for this, what we're going to do in the hierarchy is to right click, go down to 3D object and add a plane so that the chair has something to sort of fall onto. When you add a plane, as you've seen when we added default Unity objects before, they get physics put onto them, such as like a physics collider, but the chair doesn't have any of those things. Now I'm just going to zoom out a little bit further and grab hold of that chair and just lift it up. Now while we're there, I'll get hold of the main camera and line it up in here. So again, we do that with game object, align with view, which will set it up there. Okay, so we want this chair to fall under physics. That means we need to add a collider to it. So if we go to the chair, we're going to go to add component and we want to add a collider. So start typing in collider. There's a whole bunch of different colliders. You want to find a collider that best fits the model. Now in this case we could put like a box collider. So just click on box collider. You'll notice that it gives you a rectangular prism that fits around that model. Now if you don't get something like that, in that it's aligned really nicely for you, let's just select that again, then you can come over into your collider and change the center of the collider and the size of the collider just down here. So if the collider was, off center, you could just move it around like that, or, up and down and side to side. And you could also change the size of it like that. Now I'm just going to use Control Z to go back to where it was actually aligned. And from here, what do you think might happen now that I've got a collider on it if I hit play? So let's hit play. Once that's finished compiling, we should hopefully see the chair fall. Okay, it's running, but nothing has happened. The reason being is we've only put a collider onto the chair. There's no rigid body. It's the rigid body that actually does all of the sort of physics calculations using the collider as its boundaries. So we need to make sure we've got our chair selected. Stop playing if you've got it in play mode. And we're going to add in a rigid body. So let's look for rigid body. Now we want a 3D rigid body. Now this is the one that has the mass and all the other things on it. You've got a use gravity tick box that we can tick and some other settings. Now if we press play, because we've got that rigid body on there, the rigid body will have the physics added to it. Now this is the reason why the ground plane, or even though it has a collider, doesn't fall to the ground. It's just staying still. Now if you don't want a box collider on there, you can change it to something else. Okay, so we can just remove that by selecting this little menu over here, slightly off the screen for you, but I can just go remove component, which will get rid of it. And let's try something else. Let's just try a collider and we'll add a capsule collider. Now the capsule collider is going to try and sort of align with it, but it hasn't very nicely. So again, we can come over to the inspector and we can modify things like we've got a radius and we have a height. Now if we change this height, we should be able to see how that collider is situated. And from this, if I just rotate around, you'll see that we have a collider that's a capsule. It's aligned along this Z axis in this particular case. Now that's because the chair is actually modeled lying on its side, and we looked at that back in the video where we added the chair in the first place. So you can actually change the axis that this capsule will go along. So over again in the inspector, there's a direction for our capsule. Instead of it following the y-axis, we can like set it to the z-axis in this case. Now this is the axis of the object, not the world axis that you can see here, but how that object lays. Then from there, because it's now sort of better for a chair, because a chair is much taller, is that you can just play around with these heights to get it in the right spot. And let's have a look this way. Okay, so we want to make it a little bit shorter. Bring that height down. And you'll notice that it doesn't fit perfectly, so we might want to just move it down just a little bit. It's never going to, because it's a capsule and this is a chair. Right, so now if we press play, we'll get the physics of a capsule. And because that capsule has a rounded body, I'm expecting it's going to sort of fall over when it hits. Oh no, hasn't got any sideways force, so I guess it's not going to roll anywhere. But let's lift it up. Let's grab this chair. Now I'm going to hit the E key and just roll the chair over a little bit, just like that. Press play, and then you'll see it actually rock on the bottom of this capsule. So down we go, and now it falls over. Okay, it's still probably, you know, maybe not the best sort of collider that you'd want for a chair, and maybe the rectangular prism is a better choice. The most accurate choice you can get is a mesh collider, and the mesh collider follows the mesh of the actual model. So let's remove the capsule collider. Let's remove that component there. And we will add in a collider, and we're looking through our list for mesh collider. So if you just come down a little bit, let me roll these things up so you can see it on my screen a little bit better. And mesh collider, add the mesh collider. Now when you add a mesh collider to an object that has a mesh on it, and this one has the old wooden chair mesh filter, so here's this mesh up here, which is the model, it will automatically pick it up. Now if it doesn't, you can just drag and drop your mesh from one spot into the other, or you can find it over here in the assets folders and drag and drop it into there, and that will then give you a mesh collider that fits the chair exactly. Okay, so now if we press play, you're probably not going to see a lot different here, and I will show you how we can see something different. Okay, so that's now going through the ground. Why is that actually happening? Well, what's going on here is you'll find that there's a little error message down in the bottom left hand corner that says concave mesh colliders are not supported when used with dynamic rigid body game objects. So what does this actually mean? Well, with models you have convex models and concave models, and if you remember back to trigonometry in high school, a convex polygon or model is something that sort of looks like it's been blown outwards, whereas a concave is where it's got a divot or a scoop taken out of it. If you think about the structure of this actual chair, then it does have a kind of scoop taken out of the mesh because it has this concave section just here. To make it convex, it would actually need to be completely enclosed in a mesh, and you can do that and still sort of keep the mesh dimensions if you click on convex, that's just over here in the inspector, and you'll see that it immediately makes you a convex mesh and covers in these values. If this chair was not to have a rigid body and just sit on the ground, then it would be fine having that concave. It's only because we want to use it as a physics object. So with convex ticked, we can now select play, and the chair will indeed fall and hit the surface. Okay, right, so which one should you use? Well, you want to use the most optimized one that works for your actual purposes. The best type of collider, or the most efficient collider, is a sphere collider, because you're just kind of checking if within a certain radius you've hit something. If you get a box, and it's a little bit more complex because you're calculating the dimensions of that. With these sorts of mesh colliders, there's all these different points that you're calculating as to whether they've hit something else. So you can imagine the math for these types of things is quite complex. Therefore, if you don't need it to be this complex as a mesh collider, then don't use a mesh collider. Just use a box collider. And in fact, in the particular case of this chair, you could kind of use 2 box colliders. So let's just have a look at that. Let's take this mesh collider here, and I'm going to remove that. I'm going to add that box collider back in again, which will take up that whole chair. Now, if I make the box collider align with the back of the chair only, let's just see if we can get the dimensions for that. Now, is that the X direction? No. I think it might have been the Y. Yep. So it's going to be like thin like that. And then we're going to move it to the back of the chair. Now, this will take a little bit of manipulating. It's not too bad. Just bring it back just a little bit. And just make it a little bit wider. Okay, so that's 1 box collider that we've got on there. Now we can add another box collider. So let's just add a box collider here, which is now over the whole chair again, but we only want it to be down this bottom bit. So we want to restrict its size, which I think is in the Z, yep. And then we're going to move it down. And we've basically covered up that chair in 2 parts, but still way more efficient than a mesh collider, and definitely more accurate than trying to use a concave one, because you can't actually use a concave. So for example, you could sit a ball or something on that chair there and still have the physics react with it. So when it comes to colliders, the simplest option you can get away with is going to be the best for your game, especially when you start to multiply a whole heap of objects and have them falling or crashing into each other, but just because of all those calculations. Okay, so just for fun, let's grab our wooden chair. Now I'm just going to hit Control D or Command D on a Mac, which is going to create heaps and heaps and heaps of chairs. And because they're physics objects, they're all actually sitting over the top of each other, but when I hit play, they're just going to explode out based on their collisions. And this is just a bit of fun to play around with. Whoop, so there you can go. And you saw initially how when it was kind of flickering right at the beginning and pushing them apart, how it was a little bit slower on my machine. That's because of all of those calculations that have to be done just with these 2 boxes. Okay, so when it comes to mesh colliders, box colliders, sphere colliders, whatever, I'm just going to say it, the simpler is always the best option.